Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your favorite old head, Uncle Demi. And of course, we are on the Uncle Demi podcast. And today I have a truly special guest. We have the multi talented Kristopher London, known for his towering presence both on and off the court. Kristopher has captivated millions with his engaging YouTube content, hilarious rants, and insightful reactions. As a key member of the popular Two Hype crew, he brings a unique blend of humor, skill, charisma to everything he does. From his early days dreaming of playing professional basketball to becoming a YouTube sensation with over 3.6 million subscribers, Kristopher's journey is nothing short of inspiring. We'll dive into his experience to discuss his evolution of NBA 2K and explore what it takes to create content that resonates with fans worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Kristopher London. What's going on, my man?
What up? What up? What up, Unc? It's good
What's
to
going
be
on,
here. I
brother?
appreciate it. Just loving life.
Yeah, man, you're a busy man. You're a busy man. It's a lot of work
I
to get
try
you
to
on here.
be.
I'm glad.
I try to be.
No, you are, you are, man. You got a really good schedule. It's always good to be busy. So that's a blessing in itself. So regardless, we finally got the
Yes,
dates.
yes.
The stars have aligned, and we
We're
are
here.
here today.
We
That's
are
great,
here.
man. That's
Feels
great.
good too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I made a list of individuals that I wanted to make sure I had on there. You were definitely one at the top,
Oh yeah.
especially because when I met you for the first time, which was at last year's community day, and
hmm
first thing I was thinking was like, dude, like, damn, he's really tall as hell. And then,
It's the first thing everyone
and
says
then
as
two,
soon as they meet me
I
in
was like, yo,
person.
he's cool as hell. He's down to earth. So, I was like, I really want to get him on here because you're definitely an individual that I watched, and it's kind of weird because I say growing up, but it's like I'm older than everybody, but I came into
Yeah.
the 2K community late, but I
hmm
watched content of y'all, and I was just sitting there thinking like, dude, like, man, they got it,
I've
man,
been
they
doing
got
it
it
for a
going on.
while. Yeah,
You
man.
are
It's
one of the
it's
OGs.
crazy. Yeah, I what's crazy is like, I'm 31 now, but I feel like in the 2K community, yeah, that's on status myself, you know what I mean? And just even in like the space of creating content, I've been doing it for like my channel just turned 12 a couple days ago. So 12
Jeez.
years, I didn't upload videos that whole time, but like it's been at least, 11 years. So
Yeah.
that's crazy for me, and to still be kicking, you know what I mean, is a blessing in itself as well.
Amazing blessing, man. Like I said, it's just good to see, you know, individuals that started in 2K. And again, we're gonna talk about this, but
Mhm.
started,
Yeah.
doing 2K and they able to graduate and do other things and whatever. But it's just great that a lot of us can go back to the roots of 2K.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll
Of
talk
course.
about that. We'll talk about that. But let's start in the beginning. Like I always like to do this with everybody that comes on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, okay, first of all, Kristopher London, that's your real name?
That's not my real name. It was
Okay.
a name I created, because this is something that I always thought about when, getting into this space. I was like, "Okay, do I go into it with my actual name, and then that'll be just like who I am, what I represent, and everything?" But I kind of wanted to use content as my outlet to, escape what I'm going through in the moment, which
Mhm.
was this whole, thing about basketball, that being my dream to, chase the professional dream. But I was kind of using content to kind of get away from basketball because it's like I live, sleep, breathe basketball, but I wanted a space where it's not all about basketball. And I actually
Mhm.
didn't even create basketball videos until, 3 years into my content
Mhm.
career. And there's a long story there which I'll, dabble into as we progress, but I basically was born in London. I moved and grew up in the states all around like Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and I went back to London in 6th grade, I believe. Was it 6th? 5th, 6th grade, and then I moved back in 8th grade for middle school and high school because, I had to get back into the states to get into those basketball world because I wanted to go Division 1 basketball. And when I came back, I had a little accent, it's gone now, but everybody would just call me London,
Mm.
when I was in Texas. So that's kind of where Chris London came about. My real name's Chris Obaseki. My dad's Nigerian. He's also from London. So I'm a dual citizen, British and
Oh,
American. And yeah, that's kind of like the backstory of how the name came about. And it's like everybody always I always notice that when people meet me in person too, they're like, man, you're a lot more chill than you are in your videos. And it's like, yeah, I kind of,
yeah,
created a dynamic where I'm more, because I'm very like monotone, chill, relax. And it's like you can't really have that energy in videos, to there's a whole,
exactly.
algorithm and everything. And I mean you can, and I think like there's some videos where I am, a little more reserved, and I have channels, that I'm just kind of like relaxing and kicking it. Especially when I used to stream back in the day. I wasn't so animated. But
Mhm.
like I said, I just kind of like to split the two. And Christopher London, you see the outgoing version of myself, and then Chris Obaseki is just a little more reserved.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. I love that, man. It's just like entertainment, all the
Yeah,
rappers and entertainers, they have their entertainment name, and then you have, you know, your real
yeah,
name, or
exactly. And a
like
lot
I
of
like to
people don't
say,
know to this day that my real name isn't Chris London. Like there's still a lot of people that think that's like my actual name. And
yeah,
it is what
no,
it is.
I'm not gonna lie. Doing my research, I realized what your real name was. And then I was like, oh, I gotta ask this because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people
Yeah.
that think Christopher London is his name. But now that you say that, I'm like, duh, like it's a play off the fact
Yeah.
he's from London.
Yeah.
So you put that two and two
I
together.
also I will say there's also a reason like for with my family, like, my dad's Nigerian, and there's like a whole family tree that I was also a little nervous to put that name, like our name, in jeopardy in case, I'm young and stuff, and
Yeah.
doing crazy stuff on video. So I didn't want to disrespect like, the Obasekis. And I have some royalty and then my Nigerian bloodline too that
Ooh.
I found out in my first visit to Nigeria, and that was a culture shock for sure.
Oh
But
man.
that side I like to keep, reserved, because, there's a lot of people on the internet that like do deep dives and do some weird,
Of
weird crap.
course.
And I was just I protected myself from that. And
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Well,
that's another reason too.
hey, that's we just learned something new, man. You got royalty in your bloodline,
Yeah.
man. So that's
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you kind of like
Yeah.
what is it, a prince down the line? Is you a prince or
Yeah,
what?
down the line. Yeah, Prince, and my uncle is a very well-known man. Uh,
In
yeah.
Nigeria still to this day?
All in Africa, in whole Africa, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah,
Okay.
Nigeria. Yeah.
Do you go there often?
Yeah, I'm not.
Or how often?
No, so it's where my dad's from is pretty dangerous.
Mm,
So he was waiting until, I was old enough, and I actually went um I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago for the first time to see my grandfather, because he was getting sick and I wanted to see him. And fortunately I got to see him before he passed away. And it was great. It was great. I saw my uncle and where he lives, saw my dad where he grew up. And it's crazy, like, going from my uncle's spot to my grandparents' spot. It's like, when Mr. Beast does a video, $1 versus you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that's literally what I experienced. And it really opened my eyes. And like you know, it gives me the chills just thinking about it. But yeah, it's a different world out there, man.
Yeah.
And people kinda, even for me, like growing up, it's like it made me realize like sometimes I think uh education doesn't do the best job in representing or like showcasing what really goes on. And like it's not all bad. I feel
Yeah.
like in America, we're kind of conditioned in this sense, like, oh, when you hear Africa or Nigeria, you think like, these mud houses and things like that. But there's
Mm-hmm.
a side where it's like it's popping, and it looked
Yep.
like, Sixth Street and all this, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it's and I was kind of ignorant to that because of how where I grew up. And my dad he just wanted to provide a good life for me too. So it's like,
Hmm.
I'm glad I experienced that and got to see that, and I want to go more. But like I said, it's kind of it's tough with me specifically, just because of my name a little bit.
Hmm. Of
Um,
course.
and the way I had to come in was quite the story. I'm not gonna lie. But
Tell
I
us.
honestly don't even want to. I don't know if I can. Like that's the thing. I
Oh
gotta talk
man.
to my dad. Yeah,
Okay.
because I don't want it to be a thing where it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want
Don't
to.
worry about it,
Yeah,
man. That's
yeah.
enough we need to know right
It's
there. That
yeah.
that's
It's
you're a
man.
royalty. We're
Just to
not
let you
worthy.
know. Yeah. No, no, no. It's like it's one of those things where I have like pictures, bro, and I'm like rolling around with guys in helmets and AKs in my front seat. So it was one of those things. And then,
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
checking
Yeah.
in. I'm checking in and he's looking at my like the guy that does the stamps on the passport, he's kind of like looking at my last name like, and when I saw the double glance, that's when I knew like, okay, I just gotta, my dad gave me instructions on what to do and what not to say, and I had to, follow that. And yeah,
Dude,
it was
you was
it's
really
crazy.
living a real life movie. You thought you was in a movie
Yeah,
right
no,
then.
dead ass. And like, it was it was scary, but now I get like why I wasn't there, for so
Hmm.
long. Which is it's good. It was good to be there, good to the people I met, great people, and um just yeah, man, it's crazy. Like my uncle,
Yeah.
uh
That is, man.
he
That
uh
is.
he had a house. I could share this. So
Okay.
I'm pulling up, and when I knew it was real too when he has like these like watchtowers, bro. I felt like I was in a Call of Duty like campaign, and German shepherds just scouting around and stuff, and just like real life watchdogs, dude. Like it's crazy. And how I will I'll say that how much money LeBron spends on his body?
Yeah.
That's how much he spends on security. So like that
Dang.
that that's like kind of, yeah, that gives you the
So I
context
mean,
of
he's a politician or
everything.
something, man. Like that's crazy, right?
He's in the it's I think it's oil stuff, oil and trading,
Ah,
all that good
he just
good
got money.
money.
He's just protecting the investments, you
It's
know?
it's it's money. Yeah, you got to protect the investment, man, cuz you never know. Like out there especially.
Yeah.
Man, that's why I had to be protected, cuz somebody could just take me for ransom on some weird shit.
Exactly.
Excuse my language, but
No,
yeah.
you good. You good. This, yeah, you're all right. So
Okay.
okay. So it's okay. So we get the backdrop on that. So you come from royalty. That's great. And I think that
Now, mind you, you say come from oil. I don't want people to think like I just learned this 3 years ago. So
no, hey,
like it's not.
you're the lost
Yeah,
prince. What you mean? It's like the
yeah,
perfect
yeah.
story type,
It's
right?
like
It's like in all those
yeah,
Disney movies. You have to come
yeah,
back to Nigeria to
yeah.
reclaim your throne, like Simba. Come on,
Oh
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me stop.
I think that'll be. I'll make a Netflix, or actually that movie will be on Tubu or whatever that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, Tubi.
Tubi, Tubi, Tubi. Christopher London movie,
Yeah,
the
the Lost
Nigerian,
Prince.
the Lost Prince. Yeah, that's funny.
Hey, okay, okay. So let's get into this. Like, I want to get into your basketball career. Obviously as a former pro athlete myself. I know what it takes to. I played
Yeah,
Division One. I know what it takes to be a great athlete, and you have a characteristic that I had. That people always say you can't teach. Right. One thing you can't teach is
yeah,
size. You can't teach speed. I had speed, and you had
yeah,
size. Right. That's something you
yeah.
can't teach from day one. Were you born? Were you always tall? Like, how did that break down?
Um, yeah, I was tall. I was born 24 inches into the world, which I think is
Golly.
pretty tall. Um, yeah, my mom is a warrior. Um, but yeah, so I didn't have like my crazy growth spurt until around middle school. I was always lanky, but I don't think I was like tall. So
Hmm.
it was one of those things where I was always the second tallest in my class. It was weird enough.
Really?
Maybe there was one year I can't remember because it was pretty long ago, but I grew up playing point guard. I grew up playing guard.
like
So,
Anthony Davis.
um, yeah. And then once I hit 8th grade, I think I was like 5'9" ish, 5'9",
Wow.
going into 8th grade. And then I left 8th grade at 5'11". Um, so yeah,
Jeez.
I came into my freshman year in high school around 5'11", 6 foot, scratching 6 foot, and then I left high school at 6'8".
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
And
and
were you
I
was
grew.
basketball the only thing you played? Was that life, or was there other sports you
Oh
played?
yeah, dude. As soon as like I was playing flag football, baseball, all that, and then once they told me to put some pads on, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on basketball. And then baseball, I know you're a baseball guy. Like, I I couldn't play baseball, bro. It was fun when I'm hitting, but like I played outfield and I just got bored. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, man. It was
Nah,
one of
nah.
those things. And then also I was playing coach pitch, mind you. So once they
Mhm.
started throwing like, them 60 mile per hour, but I'm like, you know what, this ain't for me, man. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
So yeah, I quickly got into just straight basketball. And then AAU too. It was just like it's all I had time to do.
Mhm.
And then my dad, he kind of, you know, conditioned me to get, shots up every day. So I'm getting up, at least 250 a day.
Yeah.
And then I would play on top of that with my friends. We go to the courts every day. So I didn't really have time to play any other sports because I was
Yeah.
also studying too. I had to keep my 4.0, um, and I maintained that up until like say my junior year high school. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, no, let me tell you something. Education, I know, especially for African households, one of my close
yeah,
friends, she's Nigerian, and I used
yeah,
to be absolutely astonished of how strict the household was. Just like I was like
dude.
Nigerian, like African parents. Well, African
Uh,
parents don't play, but since you have a
yeah,
Nigerian dad and my friend was Nigerian, parents were both parents were Nigerian, like
yeah,
strict. I
yeah.
used to be in awe of her. I used to be like, dude,
I'm
like
glad it
your
was just
parents are so
50% for
strict.
me because if it was 100%, I don't know. I might be a different type of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
But it's
it's
good.
amazing
Like I
though.
hated it in the moment, but like now that I'm older, I'm glad it happened. Now I'm a new dad now, and I will
Yep.
not be I will not have that same standard to that degree because I think there's different ways you can go about it. Uh
That's the beautiful thing about it, man. That's
yeah.
how I am with my
And
kids. We we
yeah.
we were kids and we had parents and there was things we didn't like, and then as
Yeah,
adults we're
exactly.
like,
And that's
okay,
that's the beauty of it.
hmm
You instill the things that you enjoy and think were meaningful or you think will translate well into your own, seed. So
yeah.
that's big.
And then when it came to going in middle school, was middle school when you were like starting to realize, hey, you know what, I can actually go do something with this basketball. Like, where is that moment
Oh
where you
yeah.
knew you were like, you know what, I could do this?
Oh, it was when I was in London, man. I moved in fifth, sixth grade. Um and I'm playing at a national level at that age.
Wow.
Um and I was gonna like I think it was like third, fourth grade. I was in Wichita, Kansas, and it wasn't like USA kind of like I'm on Team USA, Nike Select, all that.
hmm
Nah, like Wichita, like Kansas has great programs. It's called Biddy Basketball, and there was a nationals tournament there, and my team had won back to back, and I'm starting on that team. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm getting to a spot now where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start taking basketball serious. I'm
Yeah.
pretty good naturally. Um, and then my dad just was like, "Hey, we're moving to London," and I'm just like, "What are you? What? Like I'm about to like just take off, go to these school. Like I'm telling you, like I felt like I was set up to really go like major D1 because I
mm,
all of my teammates, I looked it up the other day. I think like over 50% went major D1. Um,
mm.
but and I don't know if any of them made the NBA. I think one or two made the NBA. But yeah, so I moved to London and basketball isn't it's not big out
Yeah.
there. I mean, bro, I
Yeah.
had to take a train and a bus just to find a good court, and so by me having to do that, I was losing my passion for it time and time again.
Yeah.
And I realized too that I didn't really have a dying desire to hoop because I didn't want to even do all that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting to like get in my own head at this age because I'm like, damn, my dad's saying I gotta do this. I've gotta get my shots up, but it's tough for me to because I'm like, I gotta travel public transportation to get to school. My school doesn't have a good gym. And then I'm playing at my age group and my age group sucks. So I'm not even getting good reps in because I can do whatever I want on the court because these guys they can't hold me. Like
Yeah.
I think I was what age are you at fifth grade? Like 13, 12, maybe
Yeah.
younger? I don't even know. But
Nah,
basically I'm
exactly.
12 years old, I had to play at U19 just to get and then these are damn near grown men now. So
Yeah.
I'm playing against, grown guys, and the only reason why they have an edge on me is because I'm a frail, under 6 foot kid, and I
Whoa.
can't, make my moves because I don't have the strength yet. So
Yeah.
it was frustrating that it's like I can shoot better than all these guys, but I can't get to my spots because I'm just not strong enough. So then I'm like, okay, I got to get in the weight room, and I hated like lifting weights because that just was, I mean, I sucked at it, and it was like I didn't have that mindset yet. So it was like
Well, you're 12, you know?
I yeah, it was just like, dude, like what am I doing? Like, I hate this. I hated London, man. I every day I would cry. I'm calling my best friends at home, and then there's a time difference. So
Five
I felt
hours.
pretty lonely. I'm not gonna lie. I felt pretty lonely. Being an American kid too in London, it's you get bullied because it's like
Yeah.
everyone looks at America as a joke. When you leave America, you realize like we are the butt of any politics, any world, topics of discussion. We
Mm-hmm.
are the joke of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reality. And I had a reality check when I got there. But thankfully, like I was tall and gifted in sports, so it's like I was able to kind of maneuver the whole, "Oh, he's American bully, whatever." But it's like, okay, let's play 1v1, and then that shut
Yeah.
everybody up because it's like, okay,
Exactly.
I'm pretty good, and I was athletic too, so it's like it wasn't just basketball because I went to a sports college. Well, that's what they called it there. The school I was at, it was so they would grade you in every sport, and I pretty much I mean, I was at a high level on every sport except like I don't know, it was badminton, I think. I hated that, but it was just like whatever. But every other
Yeah.
sport, like I was good at soccer, I was good at track, like everything. So that kind of helped me, get through school, make new friends. Uh, and again, yeah, I got introduced. My dad played, in England too, so he knew a lot of, the top coaches and programs. So I was training with them eventually. Um, I was kind of set up to, start playing for Great Britain if I wanted to.
Ooh. So your
All that
dad played
stuff. But then
professionally?
yeah, he
You
played
say your dad played.
professionally in England. Yeah. So that's
Oh.
why I was born in London because he was playing at that time in England.
Did he
So,
play for like the
um,
Nigerian national team or anything like that?
he played for Great Britain,
Oh.
national team, and I'm pretty sure he has a medal, in one of them. It was like, before the dream team. I know that.
Wait a minute, how tall is he? What position
But
did he play?
he was a 6'8" center, so he was just
Dang.
athletic. Couldn't shoot worth a lick, but he could jump out of the gym, and, that was kinda
That's where you get your height
his
from.
game. Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, so my dad's
6'8".
6'8", my mom's 6 foot, so that it's like
Dang. Did
I
she play
was
basketball?
destined. She played tennis.
She
So
played tennis.
she was playing a high level tennis, but she had a knee injury that took her out and she had to
Mm.
end her career prematurely. But
You
uh
got them genetics, man.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kind of like how
I
my
have
parents are.
some
Usually that's how it is. You get like kids. You
yeah,
got your sister is
it's the
pretty good
genes.
athlete, right?
Yeah, yeah, she was a volleyball player. And she's tall too. Sports wasn't in her cards though. She's not about
Yeah, we'll get into
athletic
that.
stuff.
We'll get into that because YouTube stuff. But let's talk about going into your senior year. You're in the States now. You're looking about going to college. Talk to us about that whole portion of trying to get into college, want to play major college basketball, and kind of bring us into that portion of those decisions and where you end up doing.
Yeah, so I always wanted to play major basketball. Like KU, Duke, UNC. Those were my dream schools. Well, not UNC. I'm a Duke fan. I just said that because it
Oh
was the name
man,
of
come
college.
on. You know
But
I'm from North Carolina, right?
yeah, but
And I'm
if
a
they offered me,
diehard
I
Carolina
might
fan.
consider. I might consider it, but I mean, it would just be a flex. Like, oh look, I got offered. But nah. So those were the schools I was going after. But I just dealt with being undersized. Being a skinny guy. It was and that was big for I was a little too slow to be like a straight three, even though I liked playing the three. And I wasn't big enough to be a five. So I was kind of like
Yeah,
that 3, 4,
tweener.
5 player. And so I got offers from, Wichita State, Texas State, Sam Houston, um, what else? Or Roberts, which
Mm,
my dad played at. Um, and the thing is, my senior year, I fucked it up. I fucked it up because I broke my hand
dang.
mid-season, and all because I got angry and punched a wall, and I basically ended my senior season. And I tried to come back early, but my hand wasn't ready, and we missed playoffs. So I pretty much, and I've shared this story before. I pretty much, sold my offers. I lost literally all my mid-major, and I didn't get any major offers, but basically all my D1 offers went out the table.
Dang.
At least the ones that I really wanted. I mean, I had like a few from I think it was Iona, um Santa Clara, and then or Roberts were like my last ones. And I was just
Hmm.
like, I wanted to go to Texas, somewhere in Texas, because that's where I was for high school. But and Wichita State was big too. Just growing up in Kansas, that was a dream. That was actually a dream school for me. And even Coach Martin, who was, I think that was his name, he was the head coach for WSU. He came to one of my practices, a few, and he
Okay.
really liked how I played, but he wanted me to go to a prep school for a year to, just bulk up because he liked how I played. He's like, "You're gonna play for me, but I just need you to bulk up, get your strength up, go to this prep school, and then we'll sign you like 100%."
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, if I'm gonna go to a prep school, I'm not gonna like sign to a school like that. Then I could go anywhere I want. So
Yeah.
I was really looking for either a red shirt year, or like I'm playing right away. Cause I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to a school where I play first year, and they need to tell me that I'm gonna play, or if I'm not, then I want to get a red shirt because I also was trying to, get as much free education as I could.
Hmm.
But I did not want to go to a prep school. That was the main thing. Maybe looking back, probably wouldn't be the worst idea, but I was just ready to get over with in school. Like I just wanted school to
Yeah.
be over with. So yeah, long story short, Oral Roberts, familiar coaching staff. My dad played with the coaching staff, so I was like, this makes the most sense. It was a
Hmm.
good program for basketball too. And I went there, redshirted. They gave me the red shirt scholarship, and I dealt with a lot of health issues, unfortunately. And then it brought me to go back to London because I was having some heart issues, and they wanted me to wear a heart monitor for another season, a whole season, to get checked up on. And I couldn't play, so and I hate like the school. You don't go to Oral Roberts to go to the school unless you're super religious. Now I'm not knocking anybody
Yeah.
who's into that, but like I'm over here like, bro, it's not co-ed dorms. Like I can only see girls like once every month with the door open
Yep.
for an hour. Like, what am I doing here? Like, if I'm not hooping, like, what am I really doing here? So it's like going another year of not hooping. Like, I asked for my full release. They honored it. It was great coaching staff. Oh, and not to mention, like, the guy that recruited me left too. He's now coaching for the Pacers, which is cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, so my whole recruiting, they left, and I was like, so I'm gonna leave too. And I left. I went back to London, where my family was living at the time, and I got my health cleared first, and I was good to go. Started playing with the professional team, but I knew the moment I got paid by them, I would lose my eligibility. So I asked them
Exactly.
to pay for my university. So I went to university out there as well, and that's how they paid me, which was cool. And I played for the university team as well. But then I tore a ligament in my foot. So I
God.
didn't even play the pro season because I, have a broken foot. And that's where YouTube came in, and that's where I discovered myself, and that's where Christopher
So
London uh
basically, the injuries
came
is
back.
what really held you back. Injuries.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So was you
Held me
able,
back.
even at Oral Roberts? Would you even you redshirted your freshman year? Did you get any opportunity to play in your sophomore year?
No, so they wanted me to pull my red shirt because we were dealing with a lot of injuries. Two of our starters, one starter tore his ACL, another had a herniated disc. Like our main guys were hurt,
Damn,
and
who
I
was
was
y'all
actually
training
playing.
staff, man? Everybody
Man,
dropping
I
left
don't
and
know.
right.
Listen, I think we had 7 active players, no joke. And I remember I was playing great basketball too. I was probably playing the best basketball of my life, like to this day. And this was around February. So we're getting ready to go into the conference tournament and everything to compete to get in the big dance. And I'm just like, I'm gonna like waste my whole eligibility because our guys are hurt now, and then I'm playing good, and I'm cooking the starters, by the way, and they want me to just come in, play a few games to like make the tournament or whatever, and then I won't play once our main guy is back in the lineup again. Like I was like, no, like I'm not
Heck
just
no,
gonna
yeah.
waste a whole year for maybe like I'm gonna risk it because it would be cool to play. Because if we win the conference tournament, it's a guaranteed you go to the big dance, which
Yep.
we were playing. We had to probably we had the we won the conference for record wise, but we choked in the conference tournament, which they wanted me to
Yeah.
play in. But and red shirts don't even travel. But because of our injuries, I was actually allowed to travel without, ruining my eligibility.
Yeah.
And that's where I had like the practice of my life. And the head coach was like, yeah, we need to, the coaches were all trying to sway me to like come out and play. And I was just like, no, I think this is a trap. Like, I just think I'm going to
Yeah.
regret this,
I,
later on. I didn't
people don't know.
work this hard. Yeah. It's like, I didn't
Yeah,
work
people
for all
don't know
this
like
to
the fact
just,
of how red shirts work. Now red shirt,
yeah.
like in football, you can play like your first 4 or 5 games. In
Oh,
basketball, I'm not
wow.
sure how many. Yeah, in basketball
No,
now, I think you can
you can
play.
play exhibitions, but you can't play like actual games that count on your record, I believe. At least that's
No, no,
when
you
I
can
was
play
playing it.
actual games now. Actual
Oh,
games you
wow.
can play in all NCAA. So every single sport they
That's
have a set
crazy.
number of games you can play. So for instance, I know football. I'm not sure about basketball, but I know in football that like for instance, a kid at Alabama, they play like you can play the first 4 full games. You can play as much as you want and still
Man.
keep your eligibility. When I tell you that the players this generation has it so good, right?
Yeah,
That you can
now
transfer
NIL
and not
too.
sit
Oh my
out
god.
and you get
Dude,
paid.
it's crazy.
you
That's
know,
another reason why I went to London too, because like if I transferred to another school, well, actually I can't remember because I had a full release, which means uh due to like my circumstance, I don't think I would have had to sit out a year if I
because of
went
medical
to
reasons,
another
right?
D1. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think I got lucky there, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like they just, dude, I can't even keep up with the rules now because now they got COVID players who are 26 years old playing
26, 27
college
years
ball.
old, man,
Like,
and still have 2 years of eligibility. You be like, dude,
yeah,
this dude's
it's
gonna be
like, hey,
30.
bro,
He's gonna be your age,
bro,
bro. Still sitting
bro.
there
I
as a
saw I saw one dude. I think it was Bo Nix or something. This man's getting married, about to have kids on some, like, you know what I mean? Like, just like, what are we like? I don't know. I looked at him so differently when I realized how old he was. Because I don't keep up with the players, but then I'm like,
dude.
Okay, I
They
mean,
were
he
talking
should be
about
cooking.
Stetson Benson, the quarterback that played
Yeah.
for
Oh yeah.
Georgia. Now he's at Rams, and they were talking about how
Yeah.
him and Jackson um came in at the same year, right? Now keep in mind he's now like with the Ravens, he's a two-time Super Bowl MVP. He's
Yeah.
all these things, and we're like, wait a minute, they came in at the same time, and now all of a
Yeah. No, it's
sudden,
crazy.
here you are. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like
Hey, man. I
people can play
respect it
forever now
too.
in college.
Get your
Oh, and then we just
education.
got word.
Live life.
Shout out to my man, coach just told me. So in basketball, you can play 4 games. So right now, NCAA,
Oh,
a,
okay.
a, a freshman can play 4 games anytime throughout that season and still keep their red shirt.
Yeah, when
It's
I was
crazy.
playing, this was 2011, mind you. I couldn't. Or hey, maybe I could, and somebody just told me differently. But my dad was in my ear like, don't you dare touch it, because it was
Step on
like
that
the
court.
moment you touch on the court, 1 minute
That
it
is
could be
gone.
30 seconds, it's gone. And like
It's
like
crazy.
some programs would do that too. Like they would do that, man. They pressure you, and I didn't fold,
Yeah.
man. Because it was
Yeah.
just, and
That's
I read the
crazy.
forums and my college forums. I see people giving me shit for not coming out and playing, and we were the last bubble team, so it's like there were 64 teams that go to March Madness. We were 65, man. Like, and then
Ooh.
when you get in, when you're that close, and then you get invited to NITs, it's like, dude, the locker room is crazy. Like, no one
Yeah.
cares. I don't know about if
No
it
one
still
cares about
applies today,
NIT,
but
man.
no one, like, I got my conference ring like right here, and it has NIT on it, and it's just like I don't know why they even put that on there, but
Yeah.
but it was
Now you
cool.
did
Like we
mention
still got a ring, because we
for
had the
winning the
best
regular
record.
season.
We just didn't,
Yeah.
win the actual tournament. We choked in the semifinals
Yeah.
I think it was by a buzzer too. It was like some heartbreaking shit, but it was a good trip for
Speaking
me.
of
I don't care.
Speaking of heartbreaking, so you talked about going back to London, and then you saying that's when you started to dabble into YouTube. I'm guessing you were kind of at
Right.
that point in time. What got you into the YouTube? Was it the fact that you were looking at your basketball career and thinking like, I don't know where it's going, or you didn't even look at YouTube as a actual like this is gonna be my career? You just like let me just I see let me try this. Like how was that?
Nah, so I started making videos for fun. Like I've been making videos for fun like growing up. Like that's what me and my friends did. We would make skits in our spare time.
On this
I
OG
was doing
channel, the one that we
animation.
all know.
No, no. So
Okay.
I don't know what channel I was uploading. It's just me and my friends. We would just upload it to random channels that we just make.
Okay.
Um and even for ourselves to just watch back, and we had on like a hard drive. Like we would just try to make skits, and we would have my buddy and I, we would have competitions to see who can make like the best like short film or like little skits and stuff. So that's what I would do. So but then as I got older, I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing it. I was in my dorm room making like little rants here and there with my roommates. And this is at Oral Roberts too. But it wasn't until I lived in England that you were able to monetize it. I'll never forget. I was just chilling with my foot propped up. I was on my laptop, and I read that somebody made $100,000, or you could make six figures from being a content creator. And I was like, that was my ultimate goal. Is like once I, graduate everything, I want to be a six figure, you know.
Of course,
And
yeah.
that's where I was like, oh my God, I love doing this. So if I could make some money and you know also just do what I love, like that's the dream. Like I'm gonna chase that.
hmm
So I started to make even more of it because I was already making videos just for fun. But then I realized there's a monetization route. So then I up the upload frequency. So I told my buddy, I was like, because we made the channel together actually, and
What was the
I
name?
was kind of breaking it down. Um, it started as like MOK. It was like an inside joke I had in high school with him, and I basically just told him like, listen, bro, like I want to do this full time. Oh, another reason why he had access to the channel. This was the main reason, is because I saw that you can make money from clicking on ads. So I would go in our high school computer room, log into our channel, or not even log in, but I would go onto the channel and I would click on those ads, bro, and I made like $100 one day, and Google like sent me they basically blocked my AdSense account. So I couldn't make the AdSense under my
Oh,
name anymore. So
you
I
was
had to use
scamming.
his. I was trying, and I thought I could outsmart Google going into computer labs thinking like this isn't all on the same fucking IP. And it is, and then
Facts.
it tracked, and then they were like, this dumbass, so let me just block it. But um yeah. Anyways, for fucking years, I was under my mom's name and stuff, and then I think it was just like a quick ban for whatever, because I'm good now. But um, yeah, I made a new account, everything, started uploading on a new channel, and really started taking it serious, and that's where Christopher London was born. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't think, now that you mention it, man, now I'm looking back, I'm like, why did it? Why did I call myself Christopher London in the UK before? Oh, that's right. That's my timelines are getting all jumbled. I was like, "Wait a second, did I just debunk myself?" No. Y Yeah, no, so I had the Chris London when I was in Texas. That's where the name came, and that's where I formed it in
Hmm.
England, and that's where I started monetizing, and then I had to sign with a multi-channel network to make money because of the AdSense being banned, and then, I didn't want it to be messy with my friend, and I told him like, "Hey, I'm gonna go do my own thing here and
Yeah.
everything." So, and I didn't want to have it under my parents' name either because that's a whole tax thing that I didn't want to deal with. So,
Yep.
long story short, I grinded my way up to get enough views and subscribers to sign with. It was a company called Full Screen. That was my first ever multi-channel network, and I was able to link my AdSense through them, and then they paid my PayPal. So that's how I
Yeah.
finally got paid, and I did that for a few years. I was even saving all my bread to go to LA to meet these people in person. So I was dead.
Hmm.
I was so serious. I was like, this is what I want to do. And then especially when I was coming back from England, um, I had like 50,000 subscribers, I think. I made like 5 grand in a matter of a couple of months, maybe 3 months, all from like they had these like sponsorships. It was really weird. It was very unique. So they had this website where you could sign up your channel, and they would say, "Hey, do this ad integration for every," and it was on a CPM basis. So for every 1,000 views, we'll pay you like, let's say, $25 per thousand, whatever. And that's a high CPM. So what I
Hell
used to
yeah.
do was I would do a reaction video, and this was cheese, but I think this is pretty funny. So I would do a reaction video to like whatever was top, a trending topic. I think this is when Ray J um, did some, or Kanye West and Ray J made a song. I hit it first, whatever,
Uh
and
huh.
I reacted to it. It went viral. I made like $2,000 off that one video because it was just, it was dumb views. Like it was one of those things where it's just only viral because of like the topic, and I made
Yep.
some goofy Photoshop thing. So then I made another one, right? That wasn't sponsored or anything, but I had some X-rated things playing in the background as if I didn't know, but I did that on purpose, and I put annotation. You could have these click cards back in the day to click, have it forward to any video. So I would cover that stuff with the click cards, so you would have to click on that to get it off the screen, and that would go to that video. So that video doubled in views. So I made like 3 bands off of that, and
Dude, that's crazy.
once I did that, yeah, once I did that, I was like, "Dude, what am I don't even need to go to school anymore, like, this is"
What year was this?
like,
What-
this was 2012,
So this is
I think?
right.
Yeah,
Dang, this is right when you're in London and you're playing with the
2013,
national team.
2013.
So the
Yeah,
year after.
2013. Yeah, year after, because I played a year. Yeah, Oral Roberts was 2011 to 2012, and then London, when I was playing professionally and overseas, that was 2012, 2013. Because I remember, because that's when the Olympics in London was. So that's when I
Mm.
moved, like right when that was happening. Um, and that whole year, I was just going crazy on videos. So
Dude, that's
and I
crazy.
met
It's a
some
whole
cool
different
people
time back
along the
then.
way. Yeah, I met some cool people like the Sidemen and everything. Like I met like Joe Weller. He kind of helped me put me on a little bit to game in the YouTube space. I met KSI too. Great guy. Like I just randomly
Yeah.
saw him in the train station and we chopped it up
You knew who you
for a little
were?
bit. Yeah, so I was because I was friends with Joe, who was actually making a video with KSI at the time, and I was
Uh,
meeting Joe at the train station after their video. So then it was like
okay.
a whole thing. But I just got lucky. It was random. I was just waiting in a coffee shop in case I just pulled up randomly. So and then we became friends, mutuals.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, it's a
so
small world, man. The
basically,
internet makes everything full circle, I swear.
of course, yeah, yeah. Everybody is literally one click away, and you can it be it's amazing how you can be like, dude, like how small the world really is because of the internet. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, you're right there on the cusp. You know, you're not that well. You're still far. Like I'm still 8 years older than you, but I mean,
Hmm.
internet was something that was fairly new for us. You know what I mean? You were
Yeah.
really young, but me, I was old
Dude.
enough to know like when internet first happened and the AOL was like coming in magazines on these discs, and
Yeah.
like we were like, what is this? And then when we finally had it, we were so addicted, and no one could pick up the phone. If you picked up the phone, it kicked you off the internet. Like that's just old school stuff right there. But it's funny because the things that you're talking about right now for YouTube, it's like any people now are like, what is he talking about? Like
No,
what?
they
Like
wouldn't
that's kind
understand.
of
Like, a kid would just be
you
like,
know?
what are you yapping about?" Like, I just say, "You're yapping," but it's like that's what that's why it almost it doesn't frustrate me, but it's almost like, "Bro, I don't know what to tell you." Like, when people ask me for advice on, like, how to grow or how to do this and that, it's like, I just told you a story about how I grew my views. Like, did you see how ridiculous that sounds? Like, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Like, I'm actually now trying to reinvent myself and figure it out. So
Yeah.
um it's a whole new world and now we got AI and all this stuff. So
Yeah.
it's good though because at least now you can have like data backed research to understand algorithms and what works and what won't work. And when I was in the game starting out, there was no data. So it was all just like, hey,
Trial
upload
and
and
error,
hope for the
baby.
best, man. Yeah. Um and that was kind of like the beauty of it too. I think just when I came in, it was just like everything was super authentic because it was like there was no right or wrong or there was no algorithm to tell you like, hey, this isn't it. This
Yeah,
isn't
exactly.
we're not it's like once you kind of gain that audience, it would always go to them. It would always, the subscribers like actually were, the sub box was really like meaningful. I don't think I've
Mhm.
checked my sub box and I subscribe to people, but it's weird because a sub box today, I don't check the subscription box because I'm subscribed to so many channels from when I first started 12 years ago. So think of how many
Yeah.
channels I have in that bit. It's really how I watch, YouTube now. It's whatever's recommended to me. So you just really are making videos to get on that recommended, page
That's
because
all
that's
you're
where
trying to do,
most of
man.
everyone's views. Yeah.
Exactly. And so you started again, like you said, doing reaction videos.
Hmm.
You also had some videos where you were with your sister.
Yeah.
How was like, and they actually did quite a few of those, and those videos actually do well. Now I don't know how they did back then, but I know when I was doing my research on
Yeah.
you now, I'm just like, dude, like his sister in the videos did really well. Was it?
Yeah.
Did they do well back then too? And what was the whole ideal of including your sister into these videos? Was it just what was the whole thought
Yeah.
process
I
behind that?
mean, yeah, it's like, what's funny is like my sister actually got me into YouTube. So she was the one that kind of like encouraged me and inspired me to upload my content that I was making. Cause we always made and we would make videos together.
Hmm.
Just like little skits and movies that we try to do. And yeah, I think it was just one of those like challenges, like family challenges that we enjoyed filming together. Like we would do on our own, but not have a camera. And I was just like, let's just do it. Like, this is what I do now. Like, you want to be included? And she's like, yeah, this is fun. And we'd have fun on camera and, show the world how we kind of like just have fun together. And
Yeah.
it resonated. I think it was Back then, it was a little more trendy than it is today, at least in this the way we recorded it, like, those challenge specifically is like, "Oh, how well does your, you know, sister know you?" Like, and then maybe
Yeah.
I had, like I think I did one with my wife versus my sister to see who knows me better. Like, those were
Mhm.
very trendy at the time that I was posting it, so that I think that's kinda helped those videos,
Ah,
and
that makes
also
sense
those
now.
were
Okay.
and then yeah, and also it was, like, during the time of, like, everyone was getting to know me really, like, my audience, so it was like I was kinda
Mhm.
blowing up at that stage of my career, and, so when they see, like, family member, girlfriend, like, everyone's intrigued, like, "Oh, what does she know about you?" Or, "Who does she know?" Or, "Who is
Yeah.
this?" And so I think that's where, the traction came from, um and they were great videos. There's like I think family content's always gonna do well because that's authentic, right? You just being
Exactly.
yourself with whoever that may be, your mom, dad, sister, girlfriend, wife, whoever.
Yep.
Um and yeah, it was very
So
easy
then,
content as well.
yeah, no, it definitely was. Now, my curiosity here is this, because we obviously, we both come from the 2K community. It took you
Mhm.
years before you uploaded 2K stuff, unless you took him down. I was doing the math. I'm like, bro, like he ain't upload. Was 2K a part of your life growing
No,
up at
because
all?
no, it was, but I didn't make a channel. I didn't upload gaming until I was like already established. Like I
Yeah.
don't think I uploaded my first 2K video until I was actually in London. I posted one that was like 2K13 gameplay because like I was I didn't know gaming uploading gaming videos was a thing. And then I came across some gaming channels and I was like, "Bro, I game every day. Like I play 2K every day. I'm good at it. Um, like I can make videos on it too." And but the thing is, I couldn't afford the equipment. The equipment was very hard to get a hold of
Yeah.
during the time I was trying to. So I waited till I like saved my money, and it wasn't until I moved uh back to Houston and I was living with my mom at the time and yeah, I saw the 2K community specifically kind of like have a little blow up, or at least those were the videos like I just genuinely enjoyed like watching. And I was like,
Yeah.
bro, I felt like I was kind of like better than some of the guys in the community, like the cash nasties, the jesters, all this stuff, stacks, all that. And what's crazy is like I was like, okay, because like this is my mindset, right? It's like I'm already doing comedy skits. That's how I came up. My first 100,000 was straight from comedy skits. And after my first 100,000, that's when I started to dabble into reactions and whatever just kind of came to my mind that I felt like would do well for my audience because it was just me. I'm Christopher Lund. Like that was my niche, was me. And so
Yeah.
whatever I was interested in, I was posting. Whatever was trendy, I would slap my personality onto it. I would do these like cringy little, intros where I'm lip syncing songs. Like all of my videos are copyrighted, by the way, from 2018 and early. I don't make a fucking cent because they're all got copyrighted music and I'm too lazy to edit it out and it would mute the whole video anyway. But that's besides the point. So long story short, I was like, I'm gonna make a diss track coming into the two. I think that's what's gonna jumpstart everything. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, he's talking shit about the biggest 2K guy here, there," and it was all jokes too. iPod, shout out to iPod. I
Yep.
was watching him heavy coming into it, and so I called out everybody, bro. It was that freestyle. I think it's at like 2 million views. I don't know. It has a lot of views. Probably one of my most viewed on my gaming channel. Um, and it was funny, bro. Like I literally waited to I was waiting for a track that was trendy. So cuz I was pretty good at making parodies cuz that's what I was doing on my main channel. Was like I would make parody song skits. A lot of them are deleted because they would get me canceled today. But
Facts. Different time, man. Different
yeah,
time.
yeah, it was a very different time. And I was watching those edgy guys that aren't around today. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I made that freestyle, uh, called out pretty much everybody that I watched and I respected. Even though I was talking a little crap, but it was all in good fun and it resonated really well. And that's how that's how I kind of put my foot through the door. Um, a few months later, I was able to collab with like Cash, Jesser, um, pretty much, yeah, like everyone that was doing
Yeah.
IRL. So like that's where the IRL idea came from, actually. So what this is generally, and I don't really talk about this often. I don't even know if I've publicly ever said like there wasn't a face for basketball yet, right? And I saw this early. This is how I even when I was in my dorm room in England, I literally was like, I'm gonna be the face of basketball, right? That's what I
Mm.
want to be. That's what I aspire to be. So when you think of YouTube basketball, I want my name to be like thought of in that sense, right?
Yeah.
And not for playing professionally, like a personality, so a TV personality, but I wanted to be a YouTube personality. And
Yeah.
so I kind of started dabbling into that. But then once 2K came in, I saw his 2K in real life, and those were his most viewed videos. It wasn't the 2K
Mhm.
gameplay itself, it was him recreating like skits and things. And I remember that I was like, dude, like this is great. Like, I think this is gonna be the next thing, like the next thing up. Like, I think they were doing it in other communities like COD and all those old games, but like in basketball, this hasn't been done before, at least to a degree
Yeah.
where you could add like your own spice. Like Jesser was doing like NBA 2K15, like all that stuff. Right. So then when we collaborated, I was telling him, I was just like, dude, you're like really creative. Like, I think you need to like put down the game and like actually make some skits of just not like it could be basketball related, but it doesn't have you don't
Mhm.
need to focus solely on 2K. Like you can expand, and I think we should in all these things. And it
Mhm.
wasn't until that first 1v1 there were Jesser, I told Jesser, I was like, hey, you're in LA. I'm gonna be out there for VidCon or some event I was doing, and let's just like hoop. And this is when everything changed. Like he was like, "Hey, let's play 1v1." I was like, "I'm gonna kill this kid like 1v1. Like I don't think he knows like I actually play." I get there and this kid hands me like a collar, and I'm just like, "What the hell is this?" He's like, "Oh, we're gonna wear shot collars when we play." And I was like, "Yo,
What?
what?" Like, I know you do some crazy for like, but it's just like, but then I was all for it because I'm like, bro, this is like genius. Like, what the fuck? And mind you, this has all been done in the FIFA community, but it's never been done because that's where Jester's inspiration came from. Like my inspiration, a lot of that came from the FIFA community. So it probably was already done at the time. But basketball, no one's doing this shit. And I was like,
Yeah.
bro, this is gonna be crazy. So we're playing 1v1. His friends are able to like shock us while we play and stuff. A lot of fun. Um, and then it was after that day, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna start doing more basketball videos because now people see that I can actually play. Um, and I'm pretty good. Like I've always been good, but I never showcased my talents because I didn't want people to like I wanted people to know me for more than being a basketball player because I'm already six
Yeah.
foot ten. Like that's what I get every single day, and, like, I was just tired of, like, oh, first thing people say, "Oh, who you play for, big fella?" Like, now people know me for, like, my personality, like, my
Yeah.
content, and so it's like when I go outside today, I built my brand to where it's not now I'm not just thinking like, "Oh, this person about to ask me, like, who I play for. Oh, they're only taking a picture with me because I'm 6'10". They probably think I played in the NBA." No, it's different reasons now. I mean, it's still that still happens, but
Yeah, of course,
it's
yeah.
like that's kinda like what I work towards, and, like I said, I wanted to be kind of like a pillar in the space of basketball, personalities, and I think you see today, like, you see so many personalities, and,
Mhm.
2K was that, stepping stone that I knew right away, like, this isn't gonna be, like, my career forever. It's just I
Yeah.
wanted to use it as a stepping stone, which it did. It elevated me. I started at 500K, then once I started posting 2K, and then really going crazy with 2K, and then that's when Jesser, I met Cash eventually at a gaming convention. Everybody in the community, and we started streaming together, making videos together, just building together. Um,
Yeah.
and then, years down the line, that's how 2 Hype was formed because, we didn't want to be known as like the 2K house. And then that we kept the 2 and just put hype because we're always hype and hyper.
Ah. Okay,
And
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So that's dope
yeah.
because you just put a lot of you just gave us a lot of information in there.
Hmm.
So Jester was the first person from Two Hype that you actually met and grew a
Yeah.
relationship with, and
Hmm.
that is
Yeah.
it safe to say that you know you were like, yo, like you said, this guy is extremely, extremely, extremely creative. Is that
Yeah.
is that what levitated you to him as far as that
Um,
aspect, or was it kind of like just
so
as y'all together as people, y'all meshed really
it was
well?
kind of it was a little mixture of both because I can't, dude, it was so long ago. I can't remember if we, because I know we gamed, like we played 2K quite a bit before we had linked up in person. And I always was a fan of his videos. Um, to a point where it's like, hey, like, new 2K is coming out. If you do that, IRL 2K in real life and you need a tall body, like I'm available. I'll be
Hit me up.
available in
Mhm.
this time frame. And but then we were kind of bouncing ideas around and he was like, oh, we could like do a 1v1, a shooting competition, because I think that's what I was doing, was like 3-point competitions, because I
Yeah,
felt like playing 1v1 against people like YouTubers, like that wasn't gonna really do well because I'm just gonna dominate and who cares, right? But that's what Jester really like shifted my mindset in that sense, because then I could just add an element to make it entertaining, even though I should win and I'm probably going to. Now I can add something in there. And this
like
is
a
big
shot
when
collar.
forfeits were like, yeah, it was like really big. Like you needed a forfeit in your video for it to do well or something, right?
Yeah,
Now it's kind of like they hurt performance more so nowadays, and everyone's looking for a reward because Mr. Beast giving out millions of dollars. But
yeah,
yeah, and then once I met Jesser, then we started just playing more 2K, and then that's where I kind of was introduced to Cash, and all the two hype guys, and then it kind of just went down that road, man. It was just the
yeah,
rest was
yeah.
history.
Because um,
Oh, and
we
I
know
will
Cash.
say, me getting banned in 2K17 was quite the highlight of my career as well,
Yeah, I was
because
going.
I
We
made
could
big.
talk about that, but we can go ahead. Since you brought it
Yeah,
up now, we might as well go ahead
yeah,
and talk about it. For ones that don't know,
yeah,
go ahead and tell us that
yeah.
story, man. All right, trust me, that was one of the first
Um,
stories that's one of the first things I saw. I knew you for. Um, but you know what's funny, man?
so
Everybody has a good band story. I mean, I wasn't. I mean, obviously not,
yeah,
but there's some bigger careers like Joe Knows, Bash Plug. There's
yeah,
a lot of people that got some really good, um, band stories.
yeah,
So go ahead and go.
yeah, yeah. I got bands. I'm a big My Team guy. I dabbled into Park a little bit later in my 2K career, but I was mostly just My Team. And dude, I'm gonna be honest. It was so long ago, I forgot like what truly got me banned. But I have to assume, coins, My Team points was like a thing where you sell and buy cards and get empty points. Um, which as a YouTuber, I'm sorry, Ronnie, but you kind of had to do it. I mean, it was just, like everybody did it. I tried my best to like not do it because I knew like if I got banned, what am I gonna do as a content creator? I can't make videos, so I didn't want to actually get banned, and it was so frustrating. And this is why I made all these free LSK rants. It's because the one year I didn't freaking do it, or I think I did it like just once. It was that one time that screwed me over, and what's crazy, it wasn't even that account. I had a separate account that did it. That's my theory. I don't know what it
When you say
really could
account, you
have
talking about
been.
PlayStation account or
Yes, it was a PlayStation account that I used for a video, but I bought MT on that account, not my actual LSK account.
Mhm.
Um, so when I logged into my actual LSK account, that was banned. So I was like, "Are you dead ass right now?" And I had all my stuff on there. Anyways, long story short, I made a big deal. I was like, I think I had the rant of a lifetime.
Facts, you
I
really
even
did. It was a
made,
nice long video.
yeah, it was good. I'll be honest, it's all a blur now. What I said, verbatim, because again, when you say stuff when you're mad, you just don't even remember what you said. Like that's what that is. I just hit the camera. I was like, nah, yo, this is crazy. this is bullshit. And then what was even crazier is they like 2K. I don't know if this was intentional. I still don't know to this day. Um, but the next week, maybe even the next day, I uploaded or something. There was an update in the park, and you could see initials LSK next to trash behind a gate.
What?
Oh God, I made a video, a follow-up video showing this. And I made it a big campaign like these guys are mocking me. And then you could see the tags and videos, right, with this tool. In the tags
Free
of 2K's
LSK. I remember that.
promo,
Hashtag
it
free
was free
LSK.
LSK, LSK, all that. So I was like, yo, these dudes are using me as like an example, which it was. That's what like I think
Oh, there
that's
was
what
a
they
lot of
told me.
reaction videos
But
for your
but
band,
bro,
everything.
that that blew up. I even made a shirt like merch. Fire design, by the way. Probably one of my favorite merch launches to this date. Free LSK shirt. You know, I was at All-Star Weekend. I made a custom jersey, free LSK on the back. I'll never forget that. And then that moment, I'm not gonna lie, that moment it was when like, you know what? I'm not gonna work with 2K anymore. I'm gonna work with the NBA. And then that's when I kind of like started putting my foot through the door, finding, you know, networking with the NBA. And then you know, with 2K, I kind of was like, all right, this is how we want to play ball. You know, we kind of, you know, we settled our differences years later. Uh, and then I started working with them again. And
Hmm.
it was just, dude, see, me and 2K, we're kind of like, it's like that relationship where it's like, you know, you get together, you break up, you get together, you break up. And then it's one of those things where it's like now you're just, you're coexisting in a sense.
Yeah. You're in the same space and shit.
And yeah, and I think it's one of those things now because, you know, we've had a lot of differences that, you know, we don't have to get into, but I think the band kind of taught me what, you know, how easy it is for, you know, as a content creator, it can be to where they could just like a company can just say, hey, we don't, we're going to make an example out of you and you can't make content like you used to, at least for
Yep.
until the next game comes out. Have fun.
Yeah.
So it was like a blessing in disguise because you know I gained new audience. Even though I was actually hurt that I couldn't play. And I probably went a little too far because I was even linking the Better Business Bureau for people to like submit complaints as a business entity and stuff. And I even did a walkthrough of how to submit the report. Like it was
Dude, I
crazy.
remember
But
all this so vividly, bro. That's so
yeah,
crazy,
it
man. Like, I'm
was it
serious.
was a crazy time. Yeah. No, it was a crazy time. And
Oh.
I think everybody in the community loved it. It was great entertainment. And
It's entertainment and
yeah,
drama, baby.
yeah, drama, man. That's the thing. Like I would say like that's kind of why I took a step back from just 2K and being involved as much in the 2K community because I just felt like that's what draws like views in the 2K community for
Hmm.
the most part, in my opinion.
Yep.
Is when you're, you know, in a beef with somebody or, you know, you do all this drama. And it's like, I just don't want that anymore, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm getting older, man. I'm more mature. You know, 2016 me, oh yeah, I'm all for it. I want the smoke. Let's get it. But now
Yeah.
it's like, dude, if we're not playing 2K, like I can understand, you know, getting toxic, trash talking in the game. But once that game is over, I don't want to hear about you. I don't want to talk about you. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm
Yeah.
at
I don't
now.
want to be added on
And
Twitter. You know,
yeah,
TikToks
it's
being
like,
made about
dude,
me.
yeah, now you got to worry about TikTok. Oh my God, man. And for a while, and that's another reason why it was like, dude, there was a time, um, you know, once I got all this flack on 2K where it was like, it was hurting me to post 2K because it was just anytime, even if I wasn't being dramatic, nothing, it just is attached to my brand. And it was like, you
Yeah.
know, I'm going to take a step away, let it relax a little bit. And, you know, now I feel like I'm kind of in the cool seat now, you know, just not attached to any drama. I don't want to be any drama. So,
Yeah.
um, and yeah, I'm good now. But
Facts.
and I'm
You
excited. I'm
really are
excited
good.
for, you know, I'm always gonna be excited for the 2K. I think just as a basketball fan in general, we always will be, no matter what, how bad the game and you may say or think it is. And I that's another thing that I've grew out of as a content creator. I was that creator that's like, oh dude, this game sucks. Like, don't get it. Oh, what are you doing? Because like at the end of the day, I'm still gonna play it. When I turn off that camera, I'm gonna get back on it.
Yeah,
So I'm wasting
exactly.
my breath telling y'all how frustrated I am. And you guys just like, the community will say, oh, you're getting paid to say this. I was before, but now I'm not. And even when I was
Yeah,
getting paid, I still said the same things. I would get emails from 2K themselves saying, "Hey, you need to take this down. This is not, okay." And I said, "No, because like if we're going to work together, this is what we got like we got to have that, baseline of like what I can and can't say and what is
exactly,
actually negative and what is criticism, like constructive
exactly,
criticism." And
exactly.
I think we got there eventually. Um and yeah, like I said, I think it's one of those relationships where it's a roller coaster, up
It's
and down,
always
up
gonna
and
be like
down.
that, man. Like I said, I go through that all the time. I always tell people like I'm like the poor man Ronnie. I just did a
Yeah.
tweet today about W like having W like female my players, whatever,
Yeah.
in the park, and that tweet's just going crazy right now. And it's funny, like anything I say about 2K, because people just like any point in time, at any time through your career, you were paid with as a brand ambassador for 2K. They're always going to now think that you're with them for life. So anything you
Yeah.
say, are you getting paid for, that type of deal? And I'm going through that right now.
Yeah.
But
It's bad, man.
yo,
Any
it is. Oh, it
positivity,
is.
it's just like, bro. I mean, you just kind of got to take it to the chin.
You
Um,
can't say nothing positive about 2K, man. You say anything positive
no,
about
you
2K, you're a
can't.
puppet. Even though you
Yeah.
know that, like you said, you cut the camera off, you put your phone down, you're still back on the damn game playing it, right?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
play it for
Yeah.
hours. So stop acting like you hate the game so much. You play it for hours. If you hate something, you're not gonna play
Nah.
it.
The shift for me is once I realize the people we get mad at, like the Ronnies, the LDs, the other creators, like once I realize they actually have no play or say into what goes into the game or how the game is made, like again, you're just wasting energy and getting upset because at the end of the day, they probably agree with you, and I'm sure 80% of the things you say they agree, but
Yep.
it doesn't matter. Unless the person up there says, "Yeah," or, has a little fire under their butt, it ain't gonna change, man. Ain't gonna
Yeah,
change.
or unless the bottom line of 2K is getting hurt. That's all that matters. It's the bottom line. Like,
Oh, yeah,
those
the money, yeah,
the
exactly.
investors are the ones that care. The investors are the ones that are
Bro,
the one that's pushing that needle. 2K,
man,
and again, I don't want to say 2K. Any publicly traded company, their whole
yeah,
objective is to show year over year growth. That's it. They don't care about anything else, because if their investors aren't happy, the
yeah.
president all the way down, they're getting
Company
fired, they're getting
tanks.
released. Like, people try to keep their jobs, and I feel bad for like the Ronnies, the LD2Ks, hell, the LSKs, the Uncle Demis, the people that
Yeah,
happen to be creators or faces in the forefront, when we have absolutely nothing to do with the
yeah.
business side of what's going on up there. We just happen to be the face. We just happen to be the most accessible, so we get hit with the trash and everything like that. Um,
Yeah.
but I will say this.
That said, I want to add that I do think that as creators, we do still need to hold like, the company themselves accountable for when they are in the wrong and like, they treat
Correct.
us poorly or unfairly. Cause there's times, bro, like I've had in my career, and this is honestly why I don't like I have a, sour taste in my mouth, is just because I get hit with things that I wasn't even aware of, and now I can't really say what I want to say or react the way I want to react because it's like it's a conflict of interest, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like let's say I promoted something that I didn't know how was it was going to be, put together in the edit, so now it actually makes me look bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's things in that side that I feel like viewers don't know, and then I have to, it's our job to also let the company know, like, bro, you can't do that. Like, yeah, all
Yeah.
right, you did it to me, but like, let's not do that again for the next gen creators, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, um, if it's not right. now, if it's not like the way they treat the community and the creators good for when we're here now, it's our responsibility to make sure like for that future, you know, creators and the come up guys that it will be, because we're getting old. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a
Yeah,
new age guys that come up. So I
new
want to make
age.
sure
They coming right
that
now.
I want to make sure that they're taken care of for when, they're popping and doing their content for 2K, the
Hmm.
company that they've been playing for so long and probably want to work with. And we it starts with us.
Yeah, nah, I agree. I agree 100%. Um, I know, like I said, we can talk 2K all day, and I do want
Yeah.
to we'll come back onto that, but I want to go ahead and transition into the two hype, because two hype has played a really good
Yeah.
portion of your career, and two hype as a group is again one of the OGs, one of the trendsetter industry, like set the standard of what a group could do and what the success could be. Um,
Mhm.
we know our conversation, Jester obviously was the first. You and Jester had started that relationship, but if you could
Mhm.
talk me through the integration of each member, how did that come about? Um,
Yeah.
and in general, like I think a lot of people would like to know the backstory of Two Hype.
Yeah, I mean, it all started, we are all individuals starting out, right? Like everybody it was Jesser, Cash, who I met first, and as our inspirations like the Sidemen, and or I won't say our, like I'd say my inspiration, because I don't want to misspeak for anybody in the group, but my inspiration was like the Sidemen, and how they kind of operated and everything. And it'd always be cool. And Phase was a big Optic, all those like gaming
Mm-hmm.
orgs. It was always a dream to be a part of like a gaming org, and then I just felt like our niche wasn't really built for gaming orgs at the time. So we were
Yeah,
like, let's just do our own thing, make our own group, build our own content house. And then that's kind of like how the 2K house was formed. And then again, like we were just like, we need a group name, because like especially when I got banned, we were like, bro, nah, we can't mess with 2K after that. And yeah, that's where I met like Zach, um, and the Los, the TD, the Mao, the Mopey, um, who am I? Cash, Mitchell. Um, I met all these guys before we made the group and everything, and then we kind of just we wanted to make it uh formulate an actual group. So we did that. We started posting like every Saturday on our main channel. So we each had our own channels, and we used to like record videos every single day. And I don't know if I mentioned Los too, Los Pollos. He
yeah,
was
you
in
did, you
there
did.
as well. Um, but we would, and he was like a streamer, so him making videos, we would, get him in the videos, make his YouTube videos as well. Like everybody, that was our goal. Is
Mm-hmm.
just like everybody in the group to make at least one video a week on set, and we would upload it the same exact time on Saturday, which I don't think like any other group to this day has really done. I don't know. I can't remember where we kind of got that idea from, but or if we just kind of came up with it ourselves.
It's dope. It's
But like
structured. It's
not
like a
that was
TV
like
show.
that was like 9 videos, right? So imagine how many videos like we're recording at once. Like it dude, thinking back, it's like all a blur of like the process of how we kind of did things, because it was so psychotic, which I think honestly is kind of what was the eventually made us all burnt out, which, if you know about the two hype drama, like we kind of split up, had a bad
Yep.
split up, whole bunch of stuff, which as a content creator, I learned a lot from. I think I will say, I've said this before. I messed up. I wish I could, go back and change things, but that's a part of being human. I mean, we all make
Yeah.
mistakes. It's just about, if you learn from them, which I believe I did. Friendships were broken, trust was broken, which you'll stumble upon in building a group dynamic if you don't
Yeah.
have a strong communication line, and just understanding of like everybody's like wants and needs, right? Because
Mhm.
I mean, that many people kind of falling in line in the same wants, living together, like you're gonna have some feuds, you're gonna, bump heads here and there, but it's about like just again that pure line of communication. And long story short, yeah, that's kind of like how we uh we came about and started posting, and then we made the group channel after kind of like unfortunately that this was before the fallout, but we kind of like went our separate ways. Some of the group members that we disbanded with, again,
Yeah.
it's all messy, it's all drama
Yeah, I
that
know. I mean, like,
I'm so over.
I know you started
But
off huge, right? Let's just
yeah,
say this. You started off, there was a lot of members originally. Um,
yeah.
and from what I remember, y'all had, again, y'all were dropping so many videos. I will say this. It was very confusing because all y'all were dropping them on your own personal channels. It was a good idea eventually down the line to put it all on one. Do you think the reason why it
Yeah.
wasn't put all on one because figured maybe it'd be an issue about like how was the money gonna be distributed? That's what I always think about. It's
Yeah.
like, you
Yeah,
know,
no, that's a good question. I mean, everybody always asks that. It's like, and that's where the drama kind of stemmed from too. Is like it was a money thing, which yes, at that point, it was like distributing like nine. We didn't. That's the thing, and I again, I wish I could go back now that I've learned of like what how we should have probably went about it and everything. We didn't know like what that was gonna look like, which is why we just stayed away from it because it was like, how would we split that? How would we operate it? How many times are we gonna post? Like, are all of us gonna be in the video? What if one person can't make the video? And like,
yeah,
you see all these things that are like we're thinking about. I was like, bro, let's just keep doing what we're doing on our own channels. Let's like be in each other's videos, which we did for a really long time.
mm-hmm,
And you know, and that's kind of like where it came from. Like, okay, I mean, how many times has this person missed a video shoot like day, and then how many videos have they been included when we were all
mm-hmm,
filming together? So that's kind of like what stemmed from like, oh, we feel like this person should be in the group for the group channel, this person shouldn't, like at that time. Now if I could go back, I definitely would have a different mindset than I did then.
yeah,
But again, like I think for me personally, I don't want to speak for the group, but everything I say, this is just from my personal experience. I don't want to speak for anybody because everybody had different experiences, which I
yeah,
learned over time. Um, and I realized like I think I went into that whole thing a little premature, thinking like I had it all figured out, and I didn't. And then I acted as if I had it all figured out. Hey, guys, just follow the lead. And then as a leader, I will say I failed. I failed. I feel
yeah,
like as much success as like Two Hype has, which internally grateful for, and even the guys from the past too. I think the failure was a big learning lesson for me. And when I speak about failure, I mean like the drama,
yeah,
because it was so conflicting of like our personal lives getting brought to the internet, and then everybody having this depiction of like who I am as a person and how I treat people, and then I know deep down that's not who I really am, but like
yeah,
I can't blame the internet for thinking so because that's what they see. So like I'm kind of like felt like my back was against the wall in that situation, which I learned a lot about myself. I learned about a lot about how to conduct myself in a group
yeah,
and as a friend, as a content creator, all of that, man. Like it was
yeah.
crazy. Like,
Well, I
bro,
mean,
when you lose
to keep it
everything,
honest,
yeah,
not to cut you off, but it's like I don't think any of y'all could have imagined how successful Two Hype would have been off rip. I mean, y'all
yeah,
started off. It wasn't like it was a trickle. It was like an explosion
yeah,
of just like, damn,
yeah.
like
No, and that's
y'all
the
were
thing. Like
literally like the
that's what
fake. Like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was like I would say like that's the thing. We didn't know where it could take us. We kind of just went into it blinded, and like there's no blueprint for us to follow other than what we see on the internet already, which was the
Mm,
phase, the sidemen. So we're trying our absolute best, but we don't know like okay, like how does the sidemen like split their money, or how do they make money? How does the phase like we
Hmm.
had to like figure that out ourselves. And
Yeah.
that's always going to get messy too, because it's like there's no right or wrong answer, because it's all subjective in that
Yep.
whoever that person or whoever that group may be. Because some of you may think like, oh, like the sidemen, they all split it evenly, and doesn't matter who has the most followers, whatever. That's what I hear. I think they do. I don't know. I didn't know. And then we try that, and we went our own ways with like percentages to make it all even and what we thought was fair, and we all agreed upon. That's how we did it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all the same. We just did what we all communicated thoroughly on like what we felt was fair, and that's how we did it.
Hindsight
Now again,
2020. Do you think
yeah,
it would
it
have been
was
it
like
would have been better off this to split it evenly all the way across the board? Hindsight 2020, or do you think it
um
should have been? Because
no,
there's pros and
because
cons to both sides, right?
nah, there's pros and cons, because here's why. And this is just my personal opinion, and everybody, this could be like, I don't know if everybody would agree, but I think everybody has different motives and motivations, and I do believe like if we just went all even throughout, like we wouldn't have had that drive as a group. Like I
Mm,
like if everyone, like let's say, like you may say like, "Hey, I'm okay with that." But then you can see like the kind of tendencies of like, all right, showing up to this and showing up to that, and it's like I just
yeah.
I mean, at that time, I just wanted to make sure everybody was happy with what, and also you want to give what people deserve too. Like the people with, the higher percentages, we all believe like that was fair, because they
Yeah.
are, popping, and
Have a
it's
bigger
like
following.
your time is valuable. So, and again, this was all new to us. I think if we go back, and if you all right, if you asked that and I knew the success it would have came from, I think we all would agree, yes, we would all just like split it. But we didn't know that. So it's like,
Yeah.
and I think it's harder to say too, to split evenly when you already have entities of your own that are so successful by yourself, that it's like you're taking this risk of stepping away from, which we all sacrificed our time on our personal channels to make time for this group channel.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't make group videos anymore, because we have more things in our personal lives that we aren't willing to sacrifice, which is our family. Like, we all,
Exactly.
half of us got kids. And we started having kids before we publicly announced it, that people didn't know, and we're
Hmm.
still making videos. And then it's like, okay, one person has a kid, all right, and we didn't even know, right? um and but he's still making, the time for the shoots, but there was times where he couldn't, and we didn't know why. But that created that kind of tension in the group, that it's like, yo, what's going on, man? Like, talk to us. But then we
Yeah.
realize, oh, he's got a full on, child. And like that,
Life.
to me, I think, yeah, it's like, no one's obligated to like share that. Like, that's personal, man. Like, I'm
Of
never gonna
course.
get
Yeah.
upset
Definitely.
with somebody. Like that's a whole thing. So that's kind of like what we were dealing with. And then kid number two came, and then kid number three came, and then that's when we're like, all right, guys, like, listen, love y'all. We want, like, this is, and what's crazy, guys, is like we're making a lot of money through the channel, right? At this point, right?
Yeah.
So it even our accountant says to this day, like, why are you guys like not posting on this channel? And it's like, because that's what we value now. It's our personal
Yeah.
time, like our family time, and that's what's important, and that's what's always going to be important to us. And so I don't know when we'll ever post. And not to mention, like, everybody individually has, like, I feel like since we stopped making group content, we've all hit a goal within our personal life and our personal channels that we probably never would have reached if we kept going with the group videos once a week, because
Yeah.
it was like holding us back. Like Jesser, like, hitting 20 million subscribers, you know what I mean, just the
Yeah.
other
He's
day.
absolutely insane with it,
And
man.
it's like, Jidel, he's got like,
Hmm.
4 million, you know what I mean? So it's like, and with me, Zach, Cash, like our children are growing up so fast and just developing so well, and it's insane, and like we're able to like travel the world too with our family. Like Zach's killing it in the golf space. Like he's going to Ireland, and Cash is he's killing it with his reactions and doing the things he's doing on the side with his
Yeah.
businesses. Like, myself, like I'm been doing a lot of things outside of YouTube with my businesses that are doing well, and it's like I'm setting I set myself up to kind of get here, right? To where I'm not
Yeah.
relying so much on posting YouTube. And that's what I always encourage, like, new creators, like, hey, go crazy, get your views, get your money on the YouTube, but it's not always gonna be there. So just make sure um, I was always a big advocate on like, F a plan B, just go crazy on plan A. But hey,
Yeah.
that's the motive when you are 20 to 28. Once you hit
Yeah.
28, nah, man. Like, now I got a kid. Like, so there's gotta be a
Yeah.
plan B, once
You
the
got a
children
wife, you
start
got
getting
kids.
involved.
You can't look at
Yeah,
them like, well, plan
exactly.
A ain't bringing in the bread, or this and that. And then all of a sudden
Yeah,
it's like, well, you got to better find a plan B. You better find a B, C, D, E, and F because bills need to be paid. This right here. So yeah,
yeah.
I know. Trust me, I agree with that mindset. Getting older definitely changes your perspective on things.
Yeah,
Right
and it's
now, as
like
of
I had
today,
to.
who? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I was
What
just
I'm
gonna
saying is,
say
right now, as
with
of
the two hype.
today,
Oh fuck.
yeah,
Go ahead.
who are the current members right now in Two Hype? Who are the members? Like, is there
So
official
it's
list of Two Hype?
um we always just kind of like, now we don't really like saying like official, because it's like we're all like, I just like to think it is like a family kind of thing.
Okay,
Like
okay.
whoever we create content with the most, like for example, like Jeff technically isn't in the two hype roster, right?
Mm,
um but he's always been involved. He's a big part of two hype. Like he was working with us, head producer, all that, and then now he's just
mhm.
he took a step back from that and went into his own content. Now he's crushing. So it's like, um and then like the Johnnies, the Trav, like all our cameramen, everybody, like we always like they're too hype. You know what I mean? So when we
Okay.
mention too hype, I always like to mention them too, because we can't be too hype without them. You know what I mean? But as far as like the OG members right now, it's me, Cash, Zach, TTG, Jidel, Jesser, and Moochie. Six.
Okay.
So
Dope.
um for those that don't know. And then yeah, as far as like we always get at bro, the amount of comments I get is like, oh, upload again on the two hype channel. Like, where's the two hype channel? It's like, I don't know, man. I never want to say we'll never post, right? Even though it
Mhm.
feels like that. But I will never say never, because if an opportunity comes about where we all can, like, the issue is like having all six of us in the room to film a banger. Like we could easily film videos that are just like
Yeah.
all the six of us chopping the shit, whatever. But we didn't want to do that. We were starting to go that route where we were like uploading like highlight clips, because we could farm the fuck out of that. Um,
Yeah.
where it's like an hour of compilations of our best performing videos and post that is just to keep the channel afloat, make some money. But we were like, after that first one we did, we were like, nah, I'd rather just like end it on, like, I think our last video we filmed together was Secret Santa. And we mentioned too that
Yep.
we're gonna take a break, in which we are. We're on a break. So,
That's a long ass
we
break,
just
bro.
don't feel like, yeah, we just don't feel like coming back from the break. You know what I mean?
That, yeah.
Um, but
Here's my question then.
dude, yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, in the group chat, we all like, there's always one or two where it's like, hey man, like, let's get the gang back together. Let's do this and film it. It's like, bro, you gonna edit, you gonna edit this, you gonna get the audio, you gonna do that, because it's like, one thing we learned too is the only way we were able to post so consistently is when we got our separate team, which is why we
Oh.
even signed with 100 Thieves in the first place, because of the resources. Because before we were sharing resources with our personal channel editors and our personal channel videographers, and like that became problematic because the two eye videos are 30-40 minutes with six different audio like it's just, you need a separate editor for that. You can't
Exactly.
have, let's say one week would be Jester's editor, so then Jester couldn't post on his channel for 2 weeks because he's working on the 2 video. Then it would be the same for my editor. Like it just it came to, stressful in that sense. And then that's the main reason why we signed with 100 Thieves, because they provided us, with a whole team. Like we had too much of a team. Like it was like what the first year our videos were so overly produced. Like we had to tell them like, yo, nah, this ain't it. Like that's the one thing we learned too, is like the over high quality, overproduced stuff. Like it's not it. It wasn't our vibe. It
Mm.
just we tried it. We saw, we were like, listen, let's just tone it down, let's take a step back, go back to our roots. And, I think that last year with them was really good. Mind you, half of our producers too kept getting new and better jobs and leaving us. So then we had to train a whole new person and like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Dude. It was just like
So
it was it was a lot.
yeah, I can only imagine, man. So right now y'all are not signed to anybody. Y'all like the two hypes are free agents.
No, we're all signed. So we're all signed to our individual brands. So like for
Brands.
example, like
But
I'm
two hype
signed
as
with
itself
XZ.
is not signed with
But
nobody.
not no, not as a group. I mean, technically, like, nah, I don't think no, we're not. It's
Yeah.
just like I was gonna say because 100 Thieves has like like MCNs kind of thing.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's a separate thing though. That's not
Yeah.
really like being signed to the org. So it's like their company has doesn't own, but like they pay our ads from 2i basically still.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like I think half of the group is signed with 100 Thieves, but me and Cash we're signed with Exit.
Yep. XA. Yeah. Because that's what I was gonna talk about. Because I know X said something new,
Hmm.
but to finish up the whole two hype thing, y'all are um the group the six that you named. Right now, y'all
Yeah.
relationships are solid. Then y'all relationships are solid.
Oh
Y'all
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Y'all
We're
good.
better than ever. Yeah. 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 I think like I said, the whole drama really opened up a lot of things for us, just as like individuals and just like as a group and like because as much as people want to try to say like we're not friends or real friends or like family, whatever, we are family, man. Like we've been through thick and thin. After going through that and still, being able to go through it, talk it out, work it out, it's
Hmm.
it's it's big. So I mean, I think just with that alone, molded us into like our relationships today, which are a lot stronger and a lot healthier, better. And like, they all went to my wedding, so it's just like
Okay. Dope.
it's it's uh it's and even the guys that are like not included anymore with, some of them I'm still, in good graces with. So it's like
That's good.
it,
That's good.
I try to
Regardless.
I try to mend everything that ended poorly, right? Like on
Yeah.
my end, because I'm at a space now and where I'm good. Like mentally, I think I was also going through a lot outside of what all that. So imagine like going through like all this loss and then you lose like your friends too. And then it's like there's so many things that the internet don't know what I was currently experiencing, but it was just
Yeah.
overwhelming. And I feel like that's why I handled it so poorly. And I learned from it.
Yeah.
I did handle it poorly. I know I did. And I'm okay with it because I'm kind of glad. I'm not glad it happened, but I'm glad in this who I became after it, you know?
Yeah.
So
So then,
just ended
I
on
know
that.
you dabbled on what would you change differently. As far as like, is there anything individually with certain individuals you're like, bro, like, yeah, I should have, some of the stuff that was like publicly that you came out and said in your videos and that type of deal. Is any of those you'd be like, you know what? Yeah, man, this
I
situation
think
here is like,
I've
yeah,
well, um, I think everybody, honestly, like
okay,
everybody that I had mentioned publicly, I feel like I would have if it was me today, I definitely would have handled it uh way more maturely and just in a better headspace of just like clarity of like my words and reaction, because I think a lot of it was just spurt of the moment anger and just things.
like
Some
your
things I didn't
2K17
mean,
man.
some things were oh, it was worse than that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think no, like I said, the people that I and I don't want to like name drop or anything because it's just like
no, no, that's why I'm saying I'm
dead in the water.
specifically making sure because
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make all this like drama filled. This stuff is in the past, but I do know like
Yeah.
people are going to be like, hey, like so this is
Yeah, I
enough to
think
me to where your conversation right here is
yeah,
enough.
yeah, no, I was saying like, with everybody that I feel like I wronged or, they felt like I wronged, I've mended those relationships and I've tried and I think I have at least for the ones that, I want in my life.
Yeah,
um
exactly.
and who want to be in my life too. So,
Yeah,
uh that said, I think everybody who was involved is in a good space now and over the
that is.
situation. So that's all I care for.
There you go. So basically, to wrap it up, Too Hype is still the band is still together. You got a group chat, and it is just to be determined on potential content coming up that way, man. So um, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's always good to know that there's still potential there. One day we might be able
There's
to
still
get like a
potential. I hate saying that too though, because then everyone's like, "Oh, but when? Oh, this is," and then all your comments are just like, "Oh, when's the next
bro.
one? Fuck this video. When's
Let
the
me tell
two
you
hype
something,
video?"
man. I watched every single Too Hype video on y'all main channel. When y'all made the channel, when y'all did it, I was Noti gang, bro. Like I loved, loved,
Yeah,
loved,
I
loved y'all.
appreciate that.
I loved it.
I appreciate that.
Obviously, we didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, but like what y'all put out there was amazing work. It was great, and
Mhm.
y'all definitely set. Because I don't know if you saw my last podcast I did with Davis. I'm Davis with
Yeah.
AMP, and y'all had a
Mhm.
lot to do with that whole mindset of getting their group together. You don't
Yeah. No,
realize.
I remember.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you do, or maybe you don't. Just how impactful Too Hype is. Like y'all are like the
Yeah.
Bone Thugs of Harmony of rap groups. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all are the
Yeah.
like the one of the original groups. You know what I'm saying? That people are like,
Yeah.
started it all. You know what I mean? So, um,
Yeah, and I
very
I
very
forget that
iconic
too
group.
sometimes. It's just like I don't realize the reach we had as a group too, because like I said, we all started as individuals. So all of us, we're always like have to kind of like take a step back and just appreciate what we created together too, because it's a whole different thing. Like there's people that only seen that channel when they meet us, so it's like they don't even know we have individual channels, which is
Individual
crazy to
channels,
me.
correct?
And like, so and then there's just the impact too from other creators that are, in the space today and crushing it. You know what I mean? And like I meet a lot of guys that come up to me and even girls, creators too, that grew up, watching myself and other members of the group and just like our group videos as well. And, they what's that's another thing that I kind of appreciate about the beef, believe it or not, is because now they like groups will know what not to do or
There you
not
go.
how to. So it's like, hey, I know I took quite the hit, but listen, we're here now.
You're
I'm still
welcome, right?
kicking, and you're welcome. All right, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Facts, facts, facts. Let's talk about Xset, man. Xset.
Yeah,
Shout out to my girl Erin. I met her a couple years ago. She's really, really dope. Brilliant mind. She's one of the co-founders of Xset. Let's talk about Xset. How did that come about? And you do a lot of things with them. So a lot of people that might not be familiar with Xset, I mean, you can go ahead and lay it out. How'd you end up becoming a part of Xset and what Xset has going on for them?
yeah. Oh, by the way, I just have to leave in 6 minutes.
Okay, cool. Well,
I just have to. Yeah,
let's wrap. Yeah,
yeah,
let's get this one and wrap it.
yeah. So I don't know if you have another question after that too, but
Nah, we'll
I'll
we'll
do it.
we'll we'll
All
do
right,
we'll,
cool,
we'll get it
cool.
from there.
Yeah, no, with XSET, man, this opportunity came about. I met some people, because I worked with Erin in the past on some stuff, some content. She's great. And I started seeing XSET kind of like pop in and out of like the gaming world. And I really like their vision with the gamer lifestyle. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
gaming organization; it's a lifestyle brand where gaming is part of that lifestyle. You know what I mean? And they're tapped into the sports world as well, and like they have some athletes that represent and invest into XSET as well. And I thought that was super interesting, which caught my attention. And I was chopping it up with him, like, with Greg, Nick, and they're
Mhm.
really good people. I think, and Greg's familiar with the space. Greg Selko. I'm probably fucking his name up, but
Yeah, I don't know his
he
last name
was
either, but yeah, I spoke to Greg.
he he worked with FaZe in the past too. So like I know, like, just knowing that, I know he is familiar, right, and hip.
Mhm.
Um and I just liked how, they kind of approached me in the sense of like where I could have a little bit of ownership myself, and I thought that was super cool and unique for me and my brand, and just like my life too. Like
Yeah.
I've like I said, it's always been a dream of mine to be involved with a gaming org or a gaming lifestyle brand, which XSET is. And they've treated me so well to where like any ideas that I have for content, like they can do it for me. My merch drop that was super dope, like making my
Mhm.
own jersey, which I've always wanted to do, was really cool. And then like they have like these club activations in Vegas that I thought was hella dope for when I like signed. So I felt loved and appreciated. Um, and yeah, man, I think XSET's very new, and
Mhm.
that's also exciting for me because, with a new company and new brand, it's just like exciting to kind of mold and see where it goes, So
Yeah.
and I think now we're trying to dive more into like uh, how we want to do the content creation as like as a group, not a group, but like as just individuals within XSET and collaborate. So I'm coming up with like, a show of mine, trying to whip that together and make it super sick. And, I know they have a good team over there that can like, figure it out for myself. So
Yeah.
I can just be like the face. That's my goal. Is just like I just
That's
walk
dope.
in on set, the set's dope, and I have cool guests that come in, and so that's what I'm working on currently with them, which they've provided me. And like I said, they're just good people that I can trust too, which is very important when you get into things
Yeah.
like this.
That's dope.
And yeah, that's kind of, and then
Yeah.
Cash is along with the ride too, which is dope. My
Yeah.
boy, and so he's also part of the XF fam, and yeah, that's kind of
Yeah,
how it
man.
came about.
Yeah, man, that's dope. Like I said, new and an up and coming org, man. I seen them in a lot of different tournaments, from Apex, Call of Duty. They're doing it all right now. And of course, it's really dope when I saw that you became one of the new proud members of them. I know we've already really short on time, So again, I really do appreciate you coming on. You did speak about an upcoming show. Is there anything in particular that you want to let your fans know that's coming up in the future outside the show? And then also, come on, as married men and family men, you know, you're married, kids, you know what I mean. So again, shout out to your lovely wife and your
Oh
child.
yes, shout out to my
You know,
lovely wife. We just celebrated 3 years married together, yesterday
amazing.
or 2 days ago now.
Congrats to that.
And my baby just turned a year and a half as well yesterday, so that's
Fatherhood is
exciting.
dope.
I love fatherhood. And as far as projects coming up, I'm definitely trying to reinvent myself on the content space. So I'm excited for what I got cooking up as far as like, the direction I want to go towards moving forward. But there will definitely be a lot more content coming your way from yours truly, and at a higher cadence, and more authentic too, I feel like. So I'm
Dope.
excited to
You
dabble
got like
into that.
15 channels, so.
I know, man. It's all trial and error. Because like I said, as a Christopher London LSK, we just post what we kind of feel in the moment. Like, this month I
Facts.
like trading cards. Let's upload the trading cards. And then next month
Yeah.
I'm vlogging. And then, this week, every week I'm always hooping on Christopher London. So it's like that's kind of
Yeah.
like my cadence. But that's what I'm talking about, is like I kind of want to focus on just like 1 to 2 channels and just go with it. So a lot of good games are coming out in the next month. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to get LSK back and rolling because I haven't posted on that channel in a very long time.
Dope. That means we're
So
getting some my team content for 25. Yeah, hear that, guys. My team content for 25,
my
man.
team, that's I don't know about that, buddy, but my park and
My
my
park.
gym,
Okay.
I like the new My GM features. So that looks interesting.
Dope, man. Well, as usual, man, I really truly appreciate you coming on. Some really good stuff that you
Sir.
gave us, man. So I know a lot of people are going to enjoy this. So again,
Oh yeah.
if y'all do not know, Christopher London, aka LSK, with everything else that comes around it, Too Hype, etc. Obviously his socials or Christopher
Appreciate
London
it.
on. Well, what is your socials? You want to give your socials real quick?
I am Chris London. So IamKrisLondon.
There you
Appreciate you,
go.
Unc.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother. And again, as usual, this will be out this will be out. I guess this will be probably in 2 weeks. It'll be out. If you're on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you're at, just make sure you show love, like up, subscribe. If it's on YouTube, you definitely want to comment in there. But other than that, it's your favorite old head, Uncle Demi. I see you on the next go round.